I am a Yank in Sussex. And now for the fourth and last part of my video series, What is Sussex? As mentioned in the first video of the series, the population of Sussex is over 1.6 million. This population is dominated by the coastal communities within the 24-mile-long strip running from Brighton to Littlehampton, with a combined population of over 475,000. This strip is home to almost one-third of Sussex's people. Aside from that Brighton, Worthing, Littlehampton conurbation, the next four largest of these within Sussex are Crawley with 180,000, Hastings Bexhill with 133,000, Eastbourne with 118,000, Bognor Regis with 64,000. These conurbations comprise about 975,000 people, or nearly two-thirds of the population of Sussex. Now, before I continue, please note that I've been avoiding calling any of these conurbations, or urban areas, cities. This is because the word city in England has a special meaning. In the United States, for example, the word means practically any urban area whose government might have a mayor as its executive, or has a large number of people living in it. In England and the rest of the United Kingdom, however, the title of city is a rather more rare and prestigious thing. For example, Sussex has only two cities, Brighton and Hove, a unitary authority, and Chichester. In fact, there are only 51 cities in the whole of England, and some extremely large urban entities that any given Yank might call a city are considered to be merely towns. It's noteworthy that for an urban area to be called a city is quite a privilege. But the holding of city status brings no special benefits other than the right to be called a city. And many are the times that large towns have petitioned the British government for the privilege, mostly in vain. Brighton and Hove has been a city only since 2001, when Queen Elizabeth declared it so. Chichester, on the other hand, has been a city since around 1540. It's much smaller than many other urban areas in Sussex, such as Worthing, which, with its 111,000 people, 5 times larger than Chichester, is merely a town. If one is a quiz show participant in Britain, it's obligatory to know the names and locations of all 51 cities in England. This is because you will inevitably be asked a question on the subject. For example, on a recent edition of the TV quiz show Tenable, the 10 answers in one of the segments were the names of the 10 cities in England that started with the letters C and N. The answers to this question were, of course, Cambridge, Canterbury, Carlisle, Chelmsford, Chester, Chichester, Coventry, Newcastle upon Tyne, Norwich, and Nottingham. And keep in mind that, from time to time, I might call some urban area in Sussex a city when it really isn't. If this happens, please, dear viewers who know better, cut me some slack in the comment section. Besides the 5 conurbations I have mentioned previously, Sussex has many other towns and villages. There are 37 of these with populations over 5,000, and what seems like a good couple hundred more with much smaller settlement populations. While some of these might seem to be fairly nondescript, no offense intended, as they are all quite attractive, there are a few with noteworthy features that bear examination and will be featured in future videos. For instance, there is the town of Petworth, home of a former country estate once owned by the famous Percy family, the Earls of Northumberland. Petworth House and its 700-acre landscape park are now owned by the National Trust and features the largest herd of fallow deer in England. Next up, the symbols of Sussex. Let's start with music. There is no official Sussex song, but there's an unofficial county anthem, Sussex by the Sea. The music for this was written by William Ward Higgs in 1907. It was certainly a marching tune, and although the reasons for its composition are not certain, the composer likely had the Royal Sussex Regiment in mind, for it was adopted by the regiment and was popularized in World War I. In Sussex today, the song is sung at celebrations across the county, including at the annual Lewes bonfire, and at sports matches, including those of Sussex County Cricket Club and the Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club. The title, Sussex by the Sea, likely comes from the last line of the poem Sussex, written by Rudyard Kipling in 1902. The usual lyrics of this unofficial song has 5 verses with a chorus and refrain, so singing the complete song takes quite a while. There's a short 2-verse version of the song that was written in 1957 by Joe Haddon for the Sussex County Cricket Club. The song has also become attached to the Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club. It's the club's official song, but it has a different chorus. I've been unable to discover who wrote the lyrics to the song, but perhaps it was composer William Ward Higgs. The lyrics of the song may have been inspired by the poem Sussex, written by Rudyard Kipling and published in 1902, which expresses love for Sussex and ends with the line, "Yea, Sussex by the sea." Here's the first verse of Sussex by the Sea. Now is the time for marching, now let your hearts be gay. Hark to the merry bugles sounding along our way. So let your voices ring, my boys, and take the time from me, and I'll sing you a song as we march along of Sussex by the sea. Sussex has a strong folk song tradition, and many bawdy drinking songs can be found in Sussex history. The tune of one rather modern drinking song with words by Sussex novelist and poet Hilaire Belloc, appropriately titled Sussex Drinking Song, is what I use as the intro tune for my videos.
In Sussex down where I was bred, where lane...
The tune in this case is based on the Irish rebel song, The West's Awake.
And tumbles in his bed, and the gusty gales go by.
In a list of things pertaining to Sussex, we come to ships. In its long history, the Royal Navy has had 3 ships named after the county. The first was a 46-gun fourth-rate frigate that was launched in 1652. It was unfortunately accidentally blown up in Portsmouth Harbor in 1653. The second HMS Sussex was an 80-gun third-rate ship of the line launched in April 1893, and at the time of its commissioning, it was the pride of the Royal Navy. Like its predecessor, it was tragically lost slightly less than a year later, sunk in a severe storm in March 1894 off Gibraltar. On board were supposedly 10 tons of gold coins, making it one of the most valuable wrecks ever, speculated to have a value in the neighborhood of $500 million. The wreck was supposedly located in 2001 by an American salvage company, but conflicts with the Spanish government of Andalusia, in whose water the wreck is located, have delayed efforts to recover the ship's cargo. The third, and so far last HMS Sussex, was a county-class heavy cruiser launched on 22 February 1928. The ship served during World War II in the Atlantic and Indian Ocean theaters before being transferred to the Pacific. In September 1945, she sailed into Singapore Harbor with the Royal Marine Band of the ship playing Sussex by the Sea. General Seishiro Atagaki, the commander of the Japanese garrison at Singapore, was brought on board where he signed the formal surrender of his army, thus completing Operation Tide Race, the Allied plan to recapture Singapore. This HMS Sussex was decommissioned and handed over for scrapping in 1949. The traditional flag of Sussex is blue with 6 gold martlets. A martlet is a mythological heraldic charge or symbol, sometimes taken to be a sparrow or martin, but as you might notice, the martlet seems to have no feet, meaning that it never rests and is always in flight. The number of martlets in the Sussex arms seems to reflect the 6 ancient raps or districts of Sussex. Now, this flag was only officially registered in 2011. But it is known that this symbol of blue with 6 martlets has been considered a symbol of Sussex since at least the 13th century, and was derived from the coat of arms of the 14th century Knight of the Shire, Sir John de Rednan. As I mentioned earlier, it was in 1974 that the eastern and western divisions of Sussex were formally split into the ceremonial counties of East and West Sussex, although these 2 halves have been treated separately for some purposes for a number of centuries. Each of these have county councils, and as many official bodies in the UK, each county council has been granted a coat of arms. Here is the one for West Sussex, and here for East Sussex. Although many people assume these arms belong to the counties themselves, These coats of arms are for the county councils, not for the county itself. Flags for West and East Sussex have likewise never been officially registered. However, one can still find flags matching these arms being sold and flying from flagpoles, which are based on those county council arms. Now, Sussex's county flower is the round-headed rampion, also known as the Pride of Sussex. While this flower can be found throughout Europe, it seems to be most prevalent on the South Downs in Sussex. The wind farm that was built offshore of Sussex in 2016 was given the name Rampion after the flower. The feast day of the county's patron saint, St. Richard, is officially Sussex Day, according to the West Sussex County Council. I suppose that the East Sussex County Council goes along with this, but I didn't ask them. And now we come to the economy. Now, because this part of England is known for its good weather, tourism is an important industry here. There are a number of seaside towns and also the South Downs National Park. There's a large number of walking and horse riding paths throughout Sussex, and people not just from the British Isles, but also from all over the world come here to see what there is to see and walk where is there to walk. Sussex's coastline also has tourism value. There is the chalk cliffs of the Seven Sisters, the beaches with their shingles, and the three piers at Worthing, Brighton, and Eastbourne. Probably the most touristy part of Sussex is the city of Brighton and Hove. Here we have a very singular viewing platform, the British Airways I-360. This is a 162-meter or 531-foot tall observation tower on the seafront, which opened in August 2016. From the fully enclosed viewing pod, visitors experience 360-degree views across Brighton, the South Downs, and the English Channel, weather permitting, of course. Agriculture has been a traditional part of Sussex for thousands of years. Although in 1841 over 40% of the population were employed in agriculture, including fishing, today less than 2% are so employed. This is because of today's mechanized world. Sussex has retained much of its rural nature, however. Apart from the coastal strip, it has few large towns. The soils in the Chalk Downs and the Weald are rather poor, except where they have been enhanced artificially, so many crops don't grow well here. The Chalk Downlands were traditionally grazed by large numbers of small South Down sheep suited to the low fertility of the pasture, until the coming of artificial fertilizer made growing cereals like wheat worthwhile. The Wealden parts are mostly wet sticky clays or drought-prone acid sands, and are often broken up into small irregular fields and woods by the topography, making it unsuitable for intensive farming. Pastoral or mixed farming has always been the pattern here, with field boundaries often little changed since the medieval period, as you can see from the air. Brighton and Hove have a high density of businesses involved in media, particularly digital or new media. Since the 1990s, Brighton has been referred to as Silicon Beach. A large part of the county, centered on Gatwick Airport near Crawley, has been recognized as a key economic growth area for southeast England, while reasonable rail connections allow many people to work in London while living in Sussex. Now, Sussex isn't home to any ancient universities like those at Oxford and Cambridge, but it is home to the research-intensive University of Sussex, founded in 1961 at Falmer in Brighton, the first new university in England since World War II. The university consistently ranks among the top 20 universities in the UK. Now, back in my school days, while my family lived briefly in England due to my father's work, I was actually offered a place at the University of Sussex to study chemistry. But having other business to attend to back in the States, I couldn't take advantage. I'm sure I would have loved it. Now, sport. As far as sport is concerned, Sussex has its very own professional football team, the Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club. Nicknamed the Seagulls, or Albion, they compete in the Premier League, which is the top tier of the English Football League system. The club's home ground is the 30,750-person capacity Falmer Stadium, also known as the Amex, situated in Falmer to the northeast of the city. Besides the Seagulls, there is the Sussex County Cricket Club, known as the Sharks, which is the oldest of 18 first-class county clubs within the domestic cricket structure of England and Wales. Their home ground is in Hove. It might be fun to point out that Sussex is considered by some to be the home of the sport of cricket itself, as it very likely developed from ball games played by sheep farmers in the Sussex Weald well before 1550. Well, there is so much more to tell about Sussex, but this video grows long, and I've got to end it. But with so much to tell, there are plenty of ideas for videos crowding up into my head, so you may look forward to them as time permits. This has been a production of A Yank in Sussex. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button. If you haven't already done so, feel free to click the subscribe button along with the notification bell in order to be notified when new videos are posted on the channel. May you have a very nice day.